Have you ever laid eyes on a plant and thought, that's exactly what my collection needs? Are you finding yourself falling for the pressures of keeping up with plant trends? Are you making informed decisions about the plants that you're buying? This video is about plants I will never buy again. It's a cautionary tale about how peer pressure, in this case plant pressure, really is alive and well, and how any of us can get sucked in. Today's story is about the unexpected challenges that come from buying plants without thinking it through. Join me as I share the story of 3 IT plants that took me on quite the journey and taught me a hard lesson about buying plants I have not thoroughly planned for. Let's start with the Philodendron Mame. I've nurtured this plant from a crappy looking cutting to the majestic plant that it is today, and so it pains me to say that this is a purchase I truly regret making. I know you're thinking I've probably lost my marbles. The Philodendron Mame is a nothing short of a spectacle. The leaves are spectacular with their green color that sets the perfect background for the amazing silver variegation. These splashes and speckles of shimmering silver found across each leaf are like stars scattered across the night sky. The Philodendron Mame was once one of my prized possessions. This is my Philodendron Mame. Look at this gorgeous, beautiful plant. This plant is absolutely thriving. It's actually outgrown my planter. This baby is going places and she's absolutely loving life. She was my bestie. We bonded on a visceral level, but now I really just need it gone. If anyone wants a free Philodendron Mame, drop a comment below and let me know. But I suggest holding off until I explain why I've lost interest in this awesome plant. Next up is the Philodendron D. McDowell, created in 1988 by the legendary John Banta. This hybrid is a cross between the Philodendron gloriosum and the Philodendron pasterzanum. Banta named it after his friend Dean McDowell, a gesture that adds a personal touch to its history. The heart-shaped leaves with their wavy edges and pillowy appearance just seem to be dancing in the air. But as much as I adore its stunning appearance, this plant is not bringing me joy, and I will tell you more about that soon. I adore it, but I will never buy it again. I need to get rid of it. Next up is the Philodendron gloriosum, a true showstopper. Its leaves, reminiscent of the most luxurious green velvet, command attention and admiration. This plant is all about the tactile experience. Touching its leaves feels like caressing velvet, and the lighter green veins stand out against the dark background, creating a mesmerizing pattern. Having a Philodendron gloriosum in your space is about adding a living, breathing masterpiece. It's the kind of plant that doesn't just blend into the background. It makes a statement, drawing the eye and sparking conversation. In short, the gloriosum is one of those irresistible pieces of nature that reminds us why we fall in love with plants in the first place. Even with all this going for it, if I can't find someone to adopt it sharpish, it will be going into the green bin. I've had enough and I want to let it go, let it go. All 3 of these stunning plants have one thing in common. They're crawlers, not climbers. That's right, my friends. They do not climb up moss poles or trees or walls. They prefer to crawl along the forest floor, which is fine when they're growing in the forest, but absolutely not fine when they're growing in my home. And if you're thinking, cool, they'll spread out and look amazing. Hold up. There's more to it. Crawling plants, while stunning, always end up needing way more room than you first think. My beautiful Philodendron Mame was growing so well, but it broke.
Oh no.
When I tried to move it because it didn't have enough support. Picture this. You start with a cute little pot thinking it's plenty, but these plants have plans of their own, spreading out and taking over like they're on a mission to conquer your space. This reality, people, has hit me like a ton of bricks. Their sprawling nature, which is really perfect for the forest floor, has become a challenge in the confined space of my home. I saw these plants all over social media looking lush and beautiful, which made me feel like I absolutely needed them. The harsh reality is that because these plants are crawlers, They grow in rectangular pots. They do what nature intended and they crawl. I just don't have the room. Now, you might be thinking, no biggie, I'll just keep repotting into bigger pots. Well, that's easier said than done. There's a limit to how big you can go before your living room starts to feel like you're the one who's living in the pot instead of the plant. And yes, I've heard the advice, why don't you just make them climb up a moss pole? That'll solve your problem. But here's the thing. Not all plants are actually made to climb, and attaching a plant that's set on sprawling out across your floor to a pole, it's like trying to convince a cat to swim. It's against their nature. They can become top heavy or just ignore the moss pole and just keep doing their thing. I have seen some people do some weird things to keep up with the sprawling nature of these plants. My personal favorite is someone having a plant growing in a hanging pot and suspending the rest of the plant along the ceiling. How ingenious is that? So while the idea of having these beautiful lush crawlers might seem like a good one, the reality can be more like a puzzle that's a bit tricky to solve and, quite frankly, just annoying. So what am I going to do now? I will try my hardest to rehome these plants, as they truly are not sparking joy for me. Maybe they can provide joy for someone else. My journey with these plants has taught me some valuable lessons about plant ownership. I now understand my own limits and acknowledge that peer pressure and fear of missing out in the world of plants is a real thing, so I'm now better prepared for it. I now find joy in finding the right plants for my lifestyle and environment. So, my dear plant friends, I ask you again, are you finding yourself falling for the pressures of keeping up with the plant trends? Are you making informed decisions about the plants that you buy? Please do me this one favor, both for my benefit and that of the wider plant community. Please share your strategies for resisting the temptation to purchase every trendy plant and how you select the plants that suit you best. Please let me know in the comments below. I'm not ashamed to have outed myself for being influenced by peer pressure or fear of missing out. I'm looking at this experience as part of the journey in becoming a more knowledgeable and confident plant parent. If you found this story engaging and insightful, please give this video a like, share it with your fellow plant lovers, and subscribe. So the next time you're captivated by a plant's charm, remember this: every leaf tells a story, and not every story is meant for your bookshelf.